Ah, Britain. Steam engines, smoking factories, progress, machines, empire, and filth. Behind the polite tea parties, the lace, and the stiff collars, a carnival of the weirdest wrong practices you can imagine. Welcome to the Industrial Revolution, where passion wasn't clean, wasn't gentle, and definitely wasn't normal. Before I drag you into this smoky bedroom of history, hit that subscribe. Trust me, you'll need company when things get this strange. Factories roared. Coal dust filled the air. And while men hammered iron and women worked looms, a different kind of hammering was happening in the shadows. Let's begin with the brothels. Not just ordinary ones. In the booming cities of Manchester, Birmingham, and London, specialty houses opened. Some catered to men who wanted women dressed as maids. Others to men who wanted to be beaten, starved, or humiliated by women in leather boots. Customers called it a correction. A strange word for something that left whip marks across the back. And then came the smut clubs. Imagine a smoky room above a tavern, men in waistcoats, women in corsets, and a pile of secret pamphlets passed hand to hand like forbidden scripture. These weren't just silly drawings, they were guides. How to stage role plays of monks and nuns, how to weave ropes into strange knots, even how to turn an ordinary factory broom into something less than ordinary. Progress, after all, was not just about machines. But shadows ran deeper. Child labor wasn't only about factories. Whispers told of overseers who took advantage of the youngest workers, sometimes barely more than children. Girls summoned behind closed doors, boys mocked for cruel amusement. No one spoke, because silence meant survival. Progress demanded a cost, and it wasn't always measured in coal. And then there was hogging, a cruel pastime among young factory men. They would target women too far gone with drink, carry them away, and treat the act as sport. The laughter after was colder than the iron they forged. The Industrial Revolution gave us railways, yes, but it also bred one of Britain's darkest legacies. And among the aristocrats, pleasures took a stranger turn. While common folk toiled in mills, the nobility hosted peculiar indulgences. One favorite, the milk bath. Ladies of high society claimed it kept their skin youthful. But servants whispered that once the laughter and splashing began, the baths turned into something else entirely. A game of decadence behind gilded doors. London, meanwhile, became Europe's hub of pornography. Printers churned out thousands of dirty books. They described fantasies of maids, stable boys, even machinery. Yes, you heard me right, machines. With gears, pistons, and polished steel, inventors bragged of creating devices for pleasure. Some women swore these machines were better than husbands, and maybe they weren't lying. Progress wasn't just iron and steam, it was leather, sweat, and moans in the dark. Now let's talk about the molly houses. These were secret meeting places for men who desired other men. In a world where that could get you hanged, they risked everything to gather in taverns, dress as women, and stage mock weddings. They weren't just weird, they were brave. But what happened inside was no tea party. Dancing, role play, whipping, candle games, and police raids were constant. More than one poor man ended up on the gallows just for being caught with his trousers down. And what about the working women? Prostitutes roamed every corner of London. But here's the twist. Some specialized in industrial role play. Men paid to pretend they were factory masters, ordering around women as workers. Commands, punishments, games with ropes and belts. Industry didn't stop at the factory floor. It followed into the bedroom. Britain built the greatest empire in the world, but it couldn't build a clean bed. Then there were the fetish clubs of the wealthy, secret rooms behind gentlemen's clubs, tables lined with fruits, feathers, and whips, women dressed as Greek goddesses, men as Roman emperors. One night you might walk into a scene of 6 dukes crawling on all fours, while maids rode them with canes. Another night bishops joined, pretending to bless the chaos. God save the queen? God was nowhere in those rooms. Rural areas weren't innocent either. In villages, fertility festivals turned into drunken nights where couples swapped partners under the open sky. Some called it pagan leftovers, others just an excuse for chaos. Carts rattled with couples inside, fields echoed with screams and laughter. Children were told to stay away, but everyone knew. And then came the doctors. Victorian medicine loved experiments. Some men believed that female hysteria could be treated with special devices. These doctors didn't just treat patients, they enjoyed them. Women lined up, embarrassed, but society called it health. In reality, it was exploitation dressed in a white coat. The factory wasn't the only place turning women into machines. By the 1830s, the police couldn't keep up. Brothels, fetish clubs, molly houses, correction parlors, they were everywhere. Laws were passed, but money always found a way. Nobles bribed, workers hid, and Britain kept inventing new toys, new games, new sins. So the Industrial Revolution gave us trains, mills, and cities. But in the shadows, it also gave us milk baths, whip scars, and machines you'd never find in a museum. Progress? Oh yes, just not the kind they put in history books.